Welcome to the Metal Detecting Podcast, brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. We're digging the plugs and pinpointing the topics you want to hear. Now here's your hosts, Dave Kimball and Grant Hansen.
This show is brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. XP Metal Detectors is a high-end, innovative metal detector company with high-end metal detectors, coils, and pinpointers. For more information, go to xpmetaldetectors.com. For a dealer near you, try a Google search or go to xpteamusa.com. Hello and welcome to the Metal Detecting Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Kimball, coming to you from Central Oklahoma, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Grant Hansen, coming to you from New Jersey. How you doing, Grant?
I am doing very well. Thanks, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Weather's looking good. It's windy over here, and it's been raining a lot.
Yeah, we've been getting pretty much the same, but I'll tell you, a lot of people are getting out. I'm seeing a lot of activity now on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I have been seeing a lot lately on all Facebook pages. There, a lot of people are out digging and finding great stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get out on Saturday, do some detecting and filming. Of course, the forecast is rain all day, so we'll see. I might do it anyway. Who knows?
Same here. It's supposed to be raining here, and there's a couple of places that I've kind of got in mind that I want to hit, and I might try this weekend also. Hopefully, I can get out and do some digging.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, just mental therapy. You know, I'm sure you can use it with everything going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been slacking way too much, and I need to get out.
Yeah, but on a good rainy day, we've got plenty of videos to keep people entertained, though. We got some new ones that just came out. Cameron Mazer has his Reaper program, which is a deep program. I've got my Magnum program, which is also a deep program. So he and I might do a shootout at some point.
That would be very interesting. Well, I think everybody would love to see that.
Yeah, we'll have to arrange a day on that and see who can go the deepest and find the best target. You know, a lot of times that's just it's a crapshoot based on what property you're on, but it'll still be fun.
Oh yeah, and also Dave and Sonia has done a video versus South African team. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Team XP South Africa, nice group of guys down there. They did a video recently with Dave and Sonia where they were kind of just doing a best find, and on that video, you can vote for what you think the best find is. I may have made some enemies on our own team because I voted for South Africa as the best find. But I would say it's really close. It's entertaining. I recommend you check it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great stuff. When we get back, we will talk to somebody that y'all may be familiar with on YouTube. She's got a popular show called Digging Canuck, and her name is Liz. When we come back, we'll talk with Liz.
All right.
This segment is brought to you by Omega Mill Pouches, the official digging pouch of XP Team USA. If you're looking for a rugged, hunt-tested, washable pouch, look no further than Omega Mill. Get on eBay and search Omega Mill Pouches. That's OMEGAMILL.
Hey guys, RC here with XP Team USA. If you want to sit back, relax, and just watch some fun and entertaining detecting videos, head on over to YouTube and search for my channel, RC's Dirt Therapy. I promise it will be worth a subscribe.
Tonight we welcome a detectorist who lives north of the U.S. in Canada. You may have seen her videos and know her by the name Digging Canuck. Let's give a warm welcome to Liz. How you doing, Liz?
I'm doing very well, thank you, and thank you very much for having me tonight.
Yeah, our pleasure. Welcome, and thanks so much for joining us. So let's go back to the beginning. How long have you been detecting, and what got you started?
Well, I started my YouTube channel I think it was 2016, so I had been detecting maybe a couple years before that, But to backtrack a little bit, I was a police officer, and I came down with vertigo. And anyways, to make a long story short, I was off the job for a year. I had to learn how to walk again. It was just not a very good situation. So after that year, I went back and I thought about taking an early retirement, which I did because of the vertigo. I mean, I still suffer from it today. And if you watch some of my videos, you might even see me kind of stumbling sometimes. That's the vertigo. So after I retired, I needed a hobby because I was extremely active as a police officer. And I just honestly stumbled upon Nugget Noggin's video on metal detecting. And I thought, you know what, that's something I could do. So the rest is history.
Did you find that once you picked up metal detecting that it was sort of like therapy for your vertigo?
Oh, it's wonderful. You know, just getting out in the sun, having the sun shining on your face. It's good to be out because with the vertigo, I mean, if I was just to stay home and, you know, woe is me kind of thing, that wouldn't be a very nice path to go down. So definitely it gets me out, and it's very, very therapeutic.
That is interesting. So what's it like being a female in a hobby that's primarily done by males? Is that a challenge at all?
Some people, you know, might say it's a challenge, but I kind of flip it around the other way. I mean, when I first joined my local metal detecting club, and I walked in that first day, it was all men. But I mean, somebody has to do it, and I kind of, this is my experience anyways, is that everyone is welcome. I mean, my goodness, I have not found any sort of, my goodness, what am I trying to say? It's not been a negative for me. Not at all.
But that's great. Yeah, I'd love to get my wife and hopefully my daughter someday. She's a little too young right now. But what would you tell other women or young girls who want to start detecting?
Do not be intimidated by the size of the detectors. Sometimes there's a lot of detectors out there that might weigh a little too much or just might not be, you know, like ergonomically correct. But there is always a detector out there that will work for I'm going to say a lady, for a lady or for a smaller statured person, and definitely just get out there, have fun. I think if you're having fun, that is the main thing, and never be afraid to ask for help or for advice with, like, whether it's your settings or something that you've found or anything like that, because the majority of the people in this hobby are really, really nice people, and they will bend over backwards to help.
Yeah, there is a lot more women that are getting into the hobby of metal detecting nowadays, especially around here. And we've talked to a few of them on the show as well. But we've heard that women have a better success rate when it comes to asking for permissions. Do you find that to be true?
I'm going to have to agree with that. I think it's with most things in life. When a lady happens upon the scene, people just kind of relax. I may be overgeneralizing. I might be, but my experience has just been that it's a bit of a calming effect. And even if, someone's coming to their door, it's like, oh, what are you doing at my door? When the lady's present, it kind of just relaxes people, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a challenge, to get that communication across, like, really quickly of what you want to do and what your intent is. So anything that can be calming and relaxing, I'm sure, is definitely an advantage. You mentioned you started your YouTube channel about 4 years ago. What motivated you to start it?
Oh my goodness. I used it initially as a way to document what I did for future generations. Like, how cool would that be, for a grandchild to watch my videos, watch me detecting, and say, you know what, Grandma was pretty cool.
It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't just do videos, but you do a few different live shows each week. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah. On Thursday evenings, I do a show called Off the Cuff, and it just started. I've been doing that for a few years. It just started one day, and I just went live one day. I think it was to make an announcement or something like that, and then I just started talking, off the cuff, and it just, I mean, like I said, I'm still doing the off the cuff show. So we talk about anything. And if we happen to stumble upon some metal detecting conversation, we'll delve into that as well. And then on Sunday morning, I do a coffee with Liz, and that also started really casually, same kind of thing. I never really thought that I was going to be, doing these live streams years later, but I still am. And so that as well, that's just a casual conversation. People can send in their pictures of items that they have their metal detecting finds, and I'll put them up on the screen, share them with everybody. We'll chat about that. People can also hop onto the show, be on the screen as well. And then every other Sunday, I kind of flip that around, and I actually have a casual conversation with a YouTube personality. Like we had Brad from Green Mountain on. We've had Nicola from Great Britain, who does mudlarking. So that's every other weekend, kind of just so that it doesn't always get mundane.
Yeah.
So you're doing 2 to 3 live shows every single week, right?
Yes, and I do coin roll hunting sometimes on Wednesdays as well.
Wow, that's crazy. Since you started 4 years ago, how has your channel and how have your videos grown or adapted over the years?
Oh my goodness, I'm really embarrassed about some of my first videos, to be quite honest. The filming techniques, after you've watched some really, really great videographers, you kind of learn some techniques, some B-roll and that kind of thing. So I think my videos have progressed, as well as in content. Well, I'm kind of stuck in a big city, so I don't have access to battlefields and that sort of thing. So I just try to make the best of the situation. And every video that you see on my channel, every video is a dig. So you're going to get the bad stuff, you're going to get the good stuff. And I try and overall finish that video off as a bit of an adventure that I set out, and this is what happened kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. So if somebody was new to your channel, which one of your shows would you recommend for them to watch first?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I think the one I would probably recommend is I went out with another channel. So it was a collaboration video, and this was, I believe, a couple years ago. We went out into the woods, and I found very old Canadian silver, and I actually found 3 old Canadian silvers in one hole, but not at the same time. When you find one, you celebrate that a bit, and then you put the pinpointer back in, kind of thing. So I pulled 3 very old, very early 1900 Canadian silvers from this hole, and I was just we were like really, really happy. I was happy. My goodness, I was high five. I never high five it on a video. I mean, I don't do that, but it was just crazy. And I really can't remember the name of that video, but it might have been I don't know. But it was when I found the 3 silvers in the same hole, old silvers. This is amazing.
That sounds like a lot of great energy in that one.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
And
yeah.
What is an old silver like by Canadian standards?
They were all around 1901, nothing later than 1910. Yeah.
It's funny. The first silver coin I ever found was in the backyard I grew up in. My parents still live there now. And I was fairly new to detecting, and my mom was watching me from the deck, and I was like, man, she's gonna watch me pull tabs and this and that. And I didn't even know what it was when I found it. And it was only a ½ inch deep. It was a 1891 Canadian fish scale, so a half dime. It was the first
heck of a coin. Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it was play money at first when I found it, until I started cleaning it off, and I was going crazy.
Wow, that's a heck of a coin to find.
Yeah, I was thrilled.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know there's not very many Canadians who have found a fish scale? Those are really hard to find.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Typical. I was super green at the time and just digging everything, so I'll send you a picture of it so you can see it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I saw your video on Jesse James and the rumor and legend that he is buried treasure in Canada. Are you trying to find that? Do you ever go looking for it?
I have actually been in contact with some people that live up there, and some of the rumors they've been passed on to the people that live up there. So I don't know, a lot of these gold stories start out as legends, but when you talk to more and more people and you do a little more research, coincidence kind of really, really comes into play. And I don't know, it's not that far away from me, and that would make for a heck of a video, actually.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in Oklahoma, and there's a lot of Jesse James stories here in Oklahoma as well, and around the area.
You both got to go and find that gold.
Well, you know what? The gold has to be somewhere.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma back then was Indian territory, so this was known as like the outlaw land. You never know, because it could have been found, and if somebody finds it, would they set anything or not?
Well, this is it. If you found 4 million in gold coins, right. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody would know.
Might not want to declare that.
Especially if he got the money from stealing it from the American government at the time.
Yeah, they'd want to claim that.
Yeah.
So what's your secret in keeping things fresh and consistent for your shows?
What is my secret? My goodness, sometimes doing a live stream is actually a lot of work because you want, like you just said, you want to keep it fresh. So I try and find some new stuff that's coming up in metal detecting world. Like locally, we had a city that was thinking about making metal detecting illegal. Some new stuff that comes up with YouTube that, creators have to be aware of. And you know what? Sometimes the show is just a fun show where, we might do trivia or that sort of thing. It just has to keep changing. You have to keep getting, or you have to maintain people's interest, because there's a lot of people picking up live streaming, and you go on at any time and there are live streams, metal detecting live streams, almost all hours of the day. So you just have to keep it fresh. And sometimes I really think about that. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah. And you mentioned a lot of work. Let's give a reality check to everybody out there who wants to be YouTube famous and things like that. How much time do you actually spend every week filming, editing, and broadcasting?
Oh my goodness. Like when I go out on a dig, it's a minimum of 3 hours. So 3 to 4 hours. And sometimes if the digging is really, really good, it could be a lot longer. And that's just in your filming. And then along with that, it's not just the hole, every hole. You got to think of the, B-roll and that sort of thing that's going to be added to your video to kind of make it interesting, because nobody just wants to see, a hole and a hole and a hole and a hole. So you got to create a bit of a story. And then after that, I spend hours, and sometimes I'll spend days, couple days, depending on the video, just to get it to flow, to get it right, picking my music. Sometimes I like to add little funny clips, sound effects and that sort of thing. There's days where I'll just sit down if I have, a couple free hours, and I'll just be online trying to find some new pieces of music to add or a sound effect or that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So, and I like to think that people can tell that I've spent time on this video. I would like to think that.
Yeah, I'd say it shows. And you're right. I mean, the filming of the digs, that's work, setting up the camera, filming, making sure you're capturing it, getting your footage loaded, going through the footage, editing it. I mean, a 20-minute video could be just 2 to 3 hours of editing, and that's probably a quick job. So there's a lot of work that does go into it. Yes,
and I think I did a behind the scenes video once, and I don't know. I would hope that people would understand sometimes how much actual work and time is spent into these videos. But then again, if they don't, they don't.
Right.
We'll be right back right after this. If you are in the market for a new pinpointer, then check out XP's MI6 pinpointer. Waterproof up to 6 meters, 2 audio modes, picture pulse, 3 levels of sensitivity, rechargeable lithium battery, 7 programs to choose from, 7th program being connectivity to your machine, allowing 50 levels of sensitivity and recovery mode for your MI6. For those on a budget, check out the MI4 pinpointer with all the same options except for connectivity. So find an MI6 or an MI4 pinpointer through a dealer near you.
Hi, this is Dave D.
Hi, this is Sonia.
R.C. Dunn.
This is Alan. Yeah. We're the Minnesota Beach Boys.
This is David Kimball.
This is Grant Hansen.
Lynn Quelland.
Cameron Macer.
Pete Sorrell.
And we are
XP Team USA.
You're listening to the Metal Detecting Podcast.
And we're back with Liz with Digging Canuck. So let's switch gears for a minute. You mentioned you were a retired police officer. Can you tell us a little bit about your career in law enforcement?
Well, I worked at a city police force. I patrolled by myself in my car, by myself. I was out on patrol. I was also a coach officer. So when we had new recruits come from the academy, I would have a recruit with me for about 3 months, and then kind of cut the recruit loose when he or she was to my level of satisfaction, ready to go on their own. I also did, I was a bicycle patrol officer in the summertime as well. And then I was also, like I said, at the beginning, when I said I was very active, I was also at the same time a scenes of crime officer. So I would go to crime scenes, fingerprints, photographs, and that sort of thing. So I was like, I wore a lot of hats. And when I came down with the vertigo, it was probably one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make to actually leave the police department. It was just, to me, policing is the best job on the planet.
Oh yeah, I bet. Were you able to use some of that experience and the people that you knew to gain any permissions?
Oh no. No, not at all. I wish, something, I wish I would have, when I was policing, been doing metal detecting, because there would have been permissions all over the place.
Right.
But, sadly, I learned about metal detecting a lot later. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Do you still at least have a badge you can carry around and whip it out in case someone comes yelling at you, accusing you of trespassing?
No, I've never had any. I've never actually had any altercations, to be quite honest. Whether it's with people, private citizens, private property kind. Never. I have never had a beef with anybody.
Well, I've never had a beef, but I've had police come up and talk to me, and sometimes you're behind your headphones so you don't hear anything, and all of a sudden you turn around and there's these 2 cops standing there, and you're kind of like, they're really cool once you explain you have permission and who you got permission from. But sometimes people in the towns are protective, especially if it's like a town-owned land. They're quick to call the police. I try to give the police a heads up ahead of time where I'm going, just so that they know. But I've had a couple encounters, but they're all really cool.
Well, here in the U.S., we always say the Canadians are really super nice. So
we are.
Yeah, right. I saw something funny about a Canadian being nice to somebody, and the captain was like, "That's Canadian being mean." It's like, too funny.
We and you know what? We always, doesn't matter what it is, we're always like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Oh, I'm sorry. Like, we're just like, okay, let's just continue. Everything's good. Let's just be friends.
Yeah. So what are your typical types of coins and artifacts that come up there while you're digging in Canada?
We do dig a lot of large cents. Lots of large cents. We get the tokens too, like pre-Canada, before Canada was a nation. We get a lot of the British tokens and the like the merchant tokens, we get those as well.
Mm-hmm. And when you say large cent, you mean a Canadian large cent, which is different than
Yes, but I do have to say that I think about the third large cent that I ever found was an American large cent, and it was in a farmer's field, and it was 1837, an 1837 large cent, which was the first and only American large cent I have ever dug. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was absolutely stunned when I read the word liberty. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's really cool. A lot of times they come up, and at least here where I am in New Jersey, the soil just beats them up so much. If I can get a date off of them, I'm lucky. Or if I can, determine what type it is. But I love finding large cents.
Oh yeah, and after you found a few, you know what it looks like for sure.
Yeah.
In America, every now and then we'll find a Canadian penny in our change, and we're like, "Dang, Canadian penny!" do y'all find American pennies in your change? And
oh, tons. Well, we don't have pennies anymore since 2012. They got rid of the penny. But gotta say, they're all over the place. Lincoln's all over the place, and you know what? We do find our fair share of Wheaties as well. Yeah, I think that the American and with the other denominations, the American money here is totally interchangeable. You pop down an American quarter, you're going to get 25 cents worth of goods. They work American coins work just like Canadian coins up here.
Makes it easy. Do you ever get down to the U.S. to detect?
I used to actually, pre-COVID, we used to go down to Florida every year, down in the Florida Keys.
Nice.
I never found any pirate treasure, but but yeah, it was I detected in Florida. I think that's pretty much it for detecting in the States. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Florida's got to be a beautiful place to try to detect. And worst case, you've had a nice walk on the beach, even if you don't find anything.
Oh, there's some real beautiful beaches down there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I know COVID has messed up things for a lot of people, but do you have any plans to travel this year?
Well, every year we travel in the summer, we travel to the east coast of Canada, but because of COVID, everything we can't even go into another province right now because of that. The border has been closed to the United States since 2 Marches ago. It's crazy. It's really crazy. We had plans to go to. I had reservations at down in Cape Cod. I was supposed to meet all these different detectorists. It's all, it's just all gone, really.
Yeah, it's tough. I miss it. I don't miss traveling for work. It's nice not having to have traveled in a while, but I do miss the little trips, here and there that I would like to take for detecting or vacation. Hopefully things will clear up soon. But I heard you guys are having kind of a bad wave up there. Yeah,
my province we've been in lockdown. We're not supposed to. I haven't seen my mom in months. And I don't know why, but it's just my province is going absolutely crazy. Just crazy with COVID, and they're getting those variants that from India and that. It's just I don't know where it's going to end. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
What's the first place you're wanting to hit as soon as that does open back up?
Oh my! I want to go stateside and see all my friends.
Yeah,
definitely. Pound the Ground. I think Pound the Ground is coming up in November, maybe.
Or it might be October. I think it's October. Yeah. I was there last year. Did you go? Or not last year? 2 years ago?
Yes, I did go.
Oh, okay.
I did go.
Yeah,
and I might have even seen you, but I really don't. I saw so many people. Met so many people.
Yeah, we gotta get Dave out to the next one too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we got to get Dave out to the next one. He missed the first one.
Yeah.
So
hopefully be able to go to Dickstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many events, and you're very fortunate that your travel right now is you're able to travel to other states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for me, the Adirondacks, it's probably only like a 4-hour drive. So I don't even have to hop on a plane. I can just make the long trek up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think things are kind of lightening up a little bit. I think there might be some light at the end of the tunnel. Here in Oklahoma, everything's been kind of lifting up a little bit better. Less mask mandates, and I guess it's because of the vaccination stuff is getting out there, and everybody's starting to do that, and the numbers are starting to go down. So hopefully soon things will start looking better.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to when the borders open, being able to travel some events and chat with everybody.
Yeah, same here. All right, so here's a difficult question. What is your favorite all-time find, and what are you hoping to find most in 2021?
My favorite all-time find is really, really easy to say. Not this March, but last March, I was detecting in a pasture, and this pasture is very waterlogged, and it's kind of marshy most of the time. So anything that you dig is like really, really deep. So I had this signal. It was kind of faint, but it was a signal, and I knew that it was something. So anyways, I started digging. I got to the 1 foot mark, and I still heard it. So I kept digging probably another 4 inches down. So we're talking like 16 inches. And I pulled this. It was a badge, and I pulled it out. It was really, really dirty, but I noticed that there was an elephant on the badge. Now, elephants don't belong in Canada. You will never see an elephant on anything in Canada. So I knew that it was something really, really special. So anyway, after cleaning it up, and actually I do have video, and I was also on the cover of American Digger magazine for this. It turned out that it was a badge from a British cavalry troop, I guess, unit, who actually fought. They fought in a war in India in, I think, 1806 or 1805. But then after fighting in that war, they came to Canada to fight for the British. Well, they were British. They came to Canada to fight for Canada in the War of 1812.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So from what I have been able to do research, and I had a collector offer me a lot of money for the badge, but I said no. But he did provide me with a bit of information. Where I live, we have probably a 25 minute drive to a very famous battle that occurred in the War of 1812. And then about 20 minutes the other way is an area where the British troops actually camped. So what this collector figured out or surmised was that there was some rider on horseback delivering messages from the battlefield to the encampments, and he must have gone through this the pasture, and the badge fell off for me to find like 200 years later, which I thought was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's one of the greatest things about metal detecting is finding something that you have no clue what it is, and then learning about it all and actually realizing what you have found.
Yeah, I like I said, initially with the elephant, I knew that this was something really special, but then after doing all the research, and that to me is what metal detecting, first of all, you got to have fun doing it, but it's also about saving history and then doing the research. And I mean, when I held that in my hand, and you think that, this is like really, really old. Who was the last person that had this? How did it get here kind of thing? I think is absolutely fascinating about the hobby.
I agree. And with the badge, with the person delivering messages on horseback, it really takes you back, because now we live in the information age where I can get information across the world, across the country in seconds, right? Now, so to think about how information spread through manual walking, horseback riding, and the speed of which or the lack thereof, it's really amazing.
Oh, it's sometimes I think that if we could have like a hologram, just so that you can see that happening, a hologram attached to the relic kind of thing when you find it, this, like in Star Wars, the big hologram comes up and you see how the relic came to be there. I think it's just incredible.
That's awesome. It was very hard times back then.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I mean, and with metal detecting today, it's like we're all archaeologists. We're all finding history, and then there's nothing like it.
Yeah. So, Liz, if you were ever given a 1-day pass to metal detect anywhere in the U.S. or Canada that's always been off limits to metal detecting, where would you go?
Oh boy. I don't think there'd be any place. Well, oh my goodness. Wow. I'm not too sure about the whether it's off limits or whatever, but I would be, I think, honored to detect a some battlefield maybe in the South from the Civil War, but somewhere in the South, I think. And just to dig a three ringer, I think. I mean, it doesn't take much to make me happy. I would be absolutely thrilled to dig a three ringer and just hold that in my hand. It was, I think that would be fabulous.
Yeah, a lot of the well-known battlegrounds are protected, but there's a lot of sites where there were skirmishes or lesser known that people like Riley Bryant, who they must be masters at research, they're out there finding this stuff all the time. So it's definitely out there. Yeah. So, well, Liz, thank you so much for coming on our show tonight. We really appreciate it. And I invite all of our listeners who may have not seen you on YouTube yet to go search for Digging Canuck on YouTube, and you'll see many, many videos, recordings of her live streams, hours upon hours of entertainment. She does a really good job. It's very professional, entertaining. So please check it out.
Yeah, it was great having you on, and we'll love to have you back on again sometime.
Well, like I said, absolute pleasure to get onto your show, and thank you for asking me to be here today.
Absolutely. Have a great time, and we'd love to have you back on again sometime.
Check us out online at xpteamusa.com.
XP has introduced its new ORX machine, a high-end machine at a mid-range price. The ORX has 4 factory preset programs, 2 gold, 2 coins, also 2 user programs. The ORX comes with a high-frequency coil and is compatible with the X35 coils. The ORX is now available in the USA.
And we're back, and that was Liz with Digging Canuck. Great person to talk to. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, and she's obviously passionate about the hobby. And I mean, I can't imagine not just doing a video every week, but 2 to 3 live broadcasts on top of that. That's dedication.
Yes, she's very busy. I've also seen her on other podcasts as well. She's out there and very busy girl.
Yeah, and I like her story too. Retired police officer, and this I think is just healthy to get out and do your thing and swing and mentally as well. So it's great that she found that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like we were talking about earlier, you and Cameron both got a deep program. Y'all are going to do a shootout sometime soon. Hopefully, getting that idea in y'all's head here, throwing it out there for you. Maybe y'all can dig something or bury some coins or something even at a certain depth.
Yeah,
kind of just
that's a good idea.
Out.
And I will say that speaking of my deep program, which I call Magnum 357, or rather 357 Magnum, I'm still accepting submissions. If you want to go out there and put that program into your dais and film some stuff, send it over to me. I'm going to release part 2 of the video soon, but part 3 is where I will include all the clips.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, we'll be May 21st, and we'll see everybody then.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Get that permission. Put the coil to the soil, and we'll catch you next time right here on the Metal Detecting Podcast, brought to you by XP Metal Detectors.